Well, Marion Messmer is the co-director of BASIC, an independent think tank on nuclear disarmament, and she joins me in the studio now. Good to have you with us. So, a lot of speculation surrounding this. Most of it is focused on the idea that Russia's working on an experimental nuclear-powered cruise missile, and that's what happened when the explosion happened. So, just explain what that means and why that's worrying.
So that means that the missile would be able to stay in the air for much longer. Normally, cruise missiles have a liquid fuel engine, so that's like a car engine, which uses some sort of petrol. But as you can imagine, just like with a car, the tank runs empty at some point, whereas if it is using a nuclear reactor in order to power the missile, it can stay in the air for much longer, and therefore a strike with such a missile would be much harder to predict because it could be launched days before the strike takes place. I think what's noteworthy about it as well is that this is a technology that has been tested over time. So the US in the 50s and 60s had a program where they tried to develop such a missile, but it's very unstable technology, as we could see with the explosion.
So these sort of miniaturized nuclear power sources that would travel on the missile.
That's right, yes.
I mean, this kind of experimental missile presumably isn't covered by treaties, certainly not by the treaty between Russia and the US that lapsed last month. So are we now seeing a trend of weapons being developed which are outside the conventional norms?
I think we are, and that's concerning because at the moment Russia and the US aren't speaking to each other about new arms control treaties. So what we would need is for Russia and the US, as well as other countries, to come together to agree new arms control treaties to ensure that we're not heading towards a new arms race as we saw during the Cold War.
And what's really worrying is that there is so much secrecy surrounding what's going on. We don't really know what's happening at these places.
That's right, yes. I mean, I think one of the things that people found most worrying about this explosion is the unwillingness to actually say what was behind it. So Russian agencies that were responsible for giving out information to the press only did so after they were prodded several times. So before nearby agencies realized that there was radiation in the environment, it hadn't actually been acknowledged that there was a nuclear explosion.
I mean, this is a massive concern to people in surrounding areas because a lot of people remember what happened with Chernobyl. I mean, is that going to be uppermost in people's minds when they hear the words nuclear explosion?
I think that's the concern, yes. I mean, people think of a catastrophe of the size of Chernobyl. That probably isn't the case here, but as you say, because we don't really know what's going on, people are really concerned, and it's certainly not helping alleviate any worries that we have so little information.
Marion, thank you very much indeed for that. Marion Messmer there.
Thank you.